Yeah, corruption. Um, okay, we give you about a minute to catch your breath. Um, we will be with Dr. Nidal Jabour and Maysat Hawash from Doctors Against Genocide. Also like to ask any of the audience who would like to join us for a question or a comment briefly to raise your hand and we'll bring you on board for if you had your hand on from before and you can lower it if you're not interested in being on the panel. So let me see, what do we have here? We have,
Well, we've just viewed Gaza, Doctors Under Attack, brand new documentary, really addressing the incredible targeting of the healthcare sector in Gaza. And we're honored to have some special guests with us from Doctors Against Genocide. I'm going to put a link to that organization in the chat in case you're interested in following their weekly updates on Sundays or contributing to their efforts in Gaza.
um, we watched the film courtesy of Channel 4 television in London, the organization that had taken on the film after the BBC decided to walk away from the film that they commissioned and refused to screen it. So we appreciate Channel 4's position and them trying to share the truth with the public. And we had screened the film from the Channel 4 YouTube site in the UK. So let me try to bring a couple of people on here and see if, please accept if you would like to join us here. I'll try
You
to.
can see why it's so important to screen this kind of film to counter Israeli claims that they're complying with international law, that they do not treat prisoners or directly intentionally attack the healthcare system in Gaza. We know all of that is not true given this longstanding genocide
Excuse
in
me, Chris.
Gaza that we're witnessing day in and day out.
Yeah, Laura, uh, please tell us who you are and where you located, and tell us what you have in mind.
Hi, my name is Laura Gibney, and I'm located in Durham, North Carolina, though I'm a Canadian citizen. And I actually just had a question. Would this be the appropriate time for me to ask it?
Sure, go
Well,
ahead.
I'm with Code Pink, which many of you are probably familiar with. They do a lot of demonstrations across the country. And one of the things we've been talking about doing is we would like to have events where we read out the names of particular groups that have been targeted by Israel, where they've killed people like doctors and often their families. And I'm just wondering if you could tell us how we could get a list of all the names that have been identified of healthcare workers that have been killed by Israel. Our idea would be that we would get chapters of our organization across the country to have public events where we read the names of all of these people that have been killed, and we would hold it outside particular institutions that have not spoken out as much as they should have, like the American Medical Association. It would have also the objective of kind of shaming them a bit for not speaking out. And I'm just wondering if you could tell us how, for example, we could get such a list of the names of healthcare workers killed.
Thank you, Laura, and thank you to Code Pink and Benjamin, the leader of the organization. I know there've been prior lists. However, I'm not sure if there've been any lists that are up to date. Dr. Jabour, do you have any ideas about that?
Yes, I do. First of all, I mean, thank you, Faisal. Thank you, Krista, for giving us the opportunity to join you. Thank you for screening this powerful film. Uh, as you said, take a minute to catch your breath. I think it's going to take us a century
Mm.
to recover from this. I think the crime that Israel and the West, especially the United States, have committed against Palestine, the Palestinian, and against all humanity is something that damaged all of us, damaged humanity. And we at Doctors Against Genocide, we have a code for that. It's called Sick from Genocide. I think the whole world, including each one of us, wherever we are in the world, are sick from being witnesses to these atrocities and live stream genocide for the last 2 years now. So in the beginning, I mean, we do have responses because we, as human beings and as Palestinians, we are tough people, we're resilient people, and whatever they come at us, we will fight back. My first response to what they did to our colleagues in Gaza is this. This is Alhamdulillah. This is a gift from my son to me, which means that Palestine will always resist. And the other way we're going to fight back is something we're going to share later on about our project to help our doctors and colleagues in a real way rather than just empty sympathies. But regarding your question, Laura, yes, we do have colleagues. We have sister organizations called Healthcare Workers Watch, and that's exactly what they do. They document all the atrocities against the healthcare workers, the doctors, the healthcare system. And we do have a list of every doctor, every healthcare worker, every paramedic who got injured or murdered or imprisoned or tortured. Please reach out to us, Doctors Against Genocide, to info, or you can go reach directly to Healthcare Watch website or Instagram, and the information is there. We can give you more detailed information if needed, but we do have their names, their pictures, when they were murdered, when they were injured, where they were working. We know all the numbers of the doctors who are being abducted and how long they've been abducted. And please reach out for us, info at doctorsagainstgenocide.org or Healthcare Workers Watch, which a group of doctors from Gaza who've been documenting these crimes all along.
Thank you. I'll do that. And we'll also use that as an opportunity to call for the release of healthcare workers still being held. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. And we have Hussam Abu, the screen jumped, sorry. Mr. Hussam, please turn your camera on and unmute.
Hello everyone, I am Hussam Sheba from Gaza, a fifth-year medical student.
Okay, can you turn your camera on, or is that gonna lower your bandwidth?
Okay, I will try now. I don't know if the quality of the video will be good because we are in Gaza. There is no electricity.
All right, let's try it. Let's try it first. If it's too bad, you could turn off the video.
Okay. Today I will talk about an important point, and we'll talk on behalf of all the medical students here in Gaza. I am Hussam Abasheba, fifth-year medical student from Gaza. After you have heard the voices of those who live through an unimaginable suffering, I am here to share an important voice. The voice of medical students in Gaza who are trying against all odds to hold onto their dreams. We study medicine in a reality that no student should ever face. Imagine trying to learn the anatomy of the heart while bombs are exploding nearby. Imagine reading clinical cases while real wounded patients cry for help in front of you. There are no tools to treat them. Since the war began, our universities have been shut down. Many of my colleagues have lost their homes, being displaced with their families to overcrowded shelters, and some have lost parents or loved ones. There is no safe or quiet place to study. We have no electricity, no clean water, no internet, and no sense of psychological safety. And we are facing a huge famine at this time. We study by the flashlight of our phones, take notes on damn papers while children cry around us. Smoke fills the air, and the sound of drums never leaves. But on top of all this, we face another silent battle, the burden of unpaid tuition fees. With the war destroying homes and livelihoods, most of our families have lost their only sources of income. In my case, our home was completely destroyed and my father was seriously injured, leaving him unable to work. Today, I and most of the students here in Gaza owe around 10,000 US dollars in unpaid tuition, and I have no idea how I will pay it after losing our income. This is the situation of most of the medical students in Gaza. The most painful part is that we may reach the point of graduation only to be denied our certificates because of unpaid fees. We may graduate, uh, still be trapped in what feels like a giant open air prison in Gaza, without recognition, without a future, without hope. But despite of this, we didn't give up. I and many medical students I know volunteered at the hospitals in Gaza during the war, assisting with trauma cases and helping translate for foreign medical teams. I organized first aid training for students and civilians, created a free online medical library for my fellow students, and helped deliver aid to displaced families. We are not only surviving the bombs, we are fighting to not be forgotten. We are not asking for pity, we are asking for opportunity. My dream is to specialize in gastrointestinal laparoscopic surgery in the United States after graduation from the medical school, and then return to Gaza to build our shattered healthcare system and transfer modern medical knowledge to serve my people. I want to be part of the solution, not just another story of suffering. At this time during the war, I am preparing for the USMLE Step 1 exam despite all the hardships I am facing. You know how it is hard to prepare for that in the normal life. You can imagine preparing for the exam in the middle of the war. Also, I got a chance to do an elective in the USA in California in September 2025, but I can't travel as Rafah crossing borders were closed. As medical students in Gaza, our message from Gaza is simple. We are not just victims. We are future doctors, leaders, and builders. We need solidarity. We need people who see our potential and choose to stand with us and provide a support for us. I look forward to building meaningful academic and human connections with those who believe that the future of medicine is also born in the shadows of destruction. We may not have much, but we have what is most powerful: determination, dignity, and purpose. Thank you for listening, and thank you to those who choose to be part of our story, not just as observers, but as true partners in hope and life. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ustaz Hassam. I think you have made a very strong and clear statement about the conditions in Gaza for students. And there are a lot of people listening here. We have a few hundred people listening. And I think people will take that message and share it with other people as well. And thank you so much. And we're all standing with you, and our thoughts and hearts are with you.
Can I add something, please, Faisal?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, yeah, thank you, Hussam. I mean, you continue to impress us, the people of Gaza, especially the students. I mean, your insistence on learning, on getting better and further, despite all this tragedy visited upon you, but by the criminal regimes. in Israel and the West. Yes, stay strong, continue your ambitions. You are the new leaders, you are the new generations, you are the doctors who are going to replace Dr. Al-Bursh and all the doctors that we lost. And we encourage you to reach out to us, please. We might be able to help. Please also reach out to Izzuddin Lulu. He's also a fifth year medical student. He has the Samir Foundation for the medical students because when you work as a group, as a collective of the medical students, it will make it easier on you guys. Your message will be more powerful, and they do have some programs to help the students also. As the Lulu, the Samir Foundation, Doctors Against Genocide, we're all here for you. And yes, we will help you study in Gaza. Inshallah, we will rebuild Gaza and we will help you study abroad to get, higher degrees of education to go back and help our people in Gaza. But thank you for all what you shared, Hussam.
Thank you.
Faisal, can you just make sure that you enable the chat?
Oh, yes. Sorry. I will do that in 1 second. Hold on. Apologies here. I'm gonna get to the bottom of it here. 1 second.
Dr. Nidal, one of our guests online is asking what the best way is to provide protection and support to doctors and their families in Gaza. And also related, excuse me, is some foreigners travel to the West Bank to provide a protective presence to Palestinians there. Is there any comparable protective presence in Gaza at this time? I'm assuming the answer is no, but I'd like you to just elaborate on that if you would. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, there is a lot of doctors, international doctors and Palestinian doctors from abroad who go on missions to Gaza, first of all, to help provide necessary service that are lacking in Gaza, plus also give some relief to the doctors of Gaza who've been working through this for 2 years now, nonstop. And they also serve as a witness and in a way as a protection to the other healthcare workers, or their presence by itself sometimes can be protective. And at one point we were able to get more doctors from abroad to go on missions, but unfortunately in the last 6 months since Israel broke the last term of the ceasefire, it has been very difficult. There are still some doctors from abroad who go on missions, but the numbers are very, very limited to only a few doctors every 2 weeks. We're trying, our best, but we are also trying to connect with the doctors from Gaza. We are speaking with them every week live to hear what they're going through, what's the situation there, what do they need, what is missing, and sometimes we're able to help. Sometimes we are not due to the conditions imposed by Israel. We know that our colleagues are trying to rebuild their hospitals, their institutions that have been repeatedly bombed by Israel. And every hospital, every group of doctors in the hospital are trying to do so. One of the main hospitals is Al Shifa Hospital, and actually we just had a partnership with them as Doctors Against Genocide in the last month. If you want, I can. Is it okay to talk more about this now or later on? It's up to you.
I think we're a little short on time, so we want to get to the point where
I can get to the point. Yeah, to the point is these doctors are trying to rebuild what was destroyed. At Al Shifa, it used to be a 550 bed hospital. It was the major hospital in the whole Gaza Strip. It was destroyed. And we can come back to the project later on. Go ahead, Fizz.
what I was trying to say, I want you to get to the point of talking about the Shifa project.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this hospital.
Time left, so let's take some time and please tell people about what you guys are doing with respect to the new wing at the Shifa Hospital. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
So again, my name is Vidal Jabour. I'm a Palestinian American doctor. Here with me, we have Dr. Maisa Hawash and Dr. Karama Kumarli Hawash. We are the co-founders of this organization called Doctors Against Genocide. And this organization was born out of the pain that our people are going through in Palestine in general, both West Bank and Gaza, to help our colleagues to combat the genocide and to help the victims. Part of helping the victims, we are in direct contact and constant contact with our colleagues in Gaza to hear their voices, what they need. Our colleagues, many of them we saw in the film, including Dr. Muhammad Abu Salmiya, who was shown in this film. He was abducted by Israel for about 7 months. He is the head of the Al-Shifa hospital. We are working with him, and he is actually the lead on this, and he's the one who is telling us how urgent they need an extension to Al-Shifa hospital. Because, as I mentioned, this used to be a 550-bed hospital. It was destroyed to rubble and went completely out of function for almost a year. But our colleagues, as we know them, they do not give up. They start rebuilding using whatever means they have, and just they have an actual shop. They established a shop inside the hospital with their engineers to rebuild, try to rehabilitate whatever they have, and they managed to get up to 240 beds that are functioning now at Al Shifa Hospital, which was in a way helping them for a while. But unfortunately, in the last 2, 3 months, the other three hospitals in the north of Gaza, including Kamal Udwan Hospital, the Indonesian hospital, and Al Auda Hospital, were all targeted and attacked. They were taking part of the load, part of the burden of the victims from Al Shifa Hospital. So once these three hospitals all at once went out of business, now the only remaining hospital in the north of Gaza that's serving all the people in the upper half of Gaza is Al Shifa Hospital. And due to the worsening attack by Israel on the civilians, more bombing, more injuries, and the addition of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, what is called Gaza, it has been turned into a death trap. That is adding to the load on these hospitals, because every day, almost every day in the last month and a half since this criminal project started, there are almost on average 30 people get killed, starved people going there for food get killed, and more than 200 people get injured every day. So Al Nasser Hospital and Al Shifa Hospital have been forced to deal with this extra number of casualties instead of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which is an American and Mossad project. Instead of helping people and giving them relief and giving aid, it's adding to the burden on these hospitals. So the project is, we are going to build an extension,
Faisal,
140.
can you allow me to share pictures as you actually share
Yes,
the
please. Yes.
project update? Thank you.
The engineers and Dr. Abu Salmiya and the doctors, his colleagues at the Shifa Hospital, made a project to build an extension of about 140 beds at the Shifa Hospital itself. There were two damaged buildings there that we were able to remove. Our project already started July 1st. We started the first phase, which is to remove the old damaged building from the site to clear it up. And inshallah, we're going to start phase two, which is to build 80 bed unit in the west wing of the hospital. It's going to be built from whatever material they can manage to get from Gaza, because we're not able to get anything from outside. But they do have a vision. There are some resources in Gaza that they can manage to get some special tents, some old equipment from the other damaged hospitals to build this extra wing. The engineers are drawing the plans. Actually, last week, one of the engineers who were taking the lead on this shared with us the detailed plan. This is going to be phase two, which is 80 beds with 2 operating rooms and 2 recovery rooms. Then phase three is going to be an extra 60 beds with, I think, I'm not sure if there's another operating room in that bed or not. And the goal is to get this up and running within 3 months, because the need is urgent, it's immediate. They don't have time or material to build a whole building or a whole new hospital. So this is coming as an emergency solution for now to help with the overflow of patients and victims because daily they're receiving hundreds of injured people, dozens of murdered people. They're treating people on the floors, they're treating people in the hallways, they're treating people in the streets. We also the pictures of kids holding the IV bags and the blood unit bags to their mothers who are being injured in the street. They have no equipment, they have no bed, and their mothers are being treated in the street outside the hospital. And according to Dr. Abu Salmiya, who was shown in the video, he's currently the chief of Al Shifa Hospital. We're working with him. They are taking the lead on the project. They are planning everything. They are doing everything. Our organization, Doctors Against Genocide, we adopted this project from A to Z. We're gonna just fund them. We want them to do whatever they can, their own ways. We know the Gaza people can do it best. Last year, we tried to put an estimate for a field hospital somewhere else, and the estimate for that field hospital from American companies was about $12 million. What our colleagues in Gaza and the doctors are projecting for this project cost is about 700,000 to have it complete and up and running, despite the lack of resources and despite the extremely high prices in Gaza. But we know that they are the best at doing this. It's their country, it's their land, it's their neighborhood. They know how to do it, they know how to get the job done in time, rather than waiting for a miracle, rather than waiting for other international organizations to develop their own field hospital and keep the population dependent on their aid. We don't want the Gaza people to be dependent on any aid. Gaza people are strong people. They are people with dignity. They are smart. They know how to get things done. If we just take off the knee of the Israeli genocidal regime and the neck of the U.S. off their necks, they know how to get things done their own way with the least resources and with the speed that they need. So this is our project in brief. We are going to be giving updates on this project every Sunday on our webinar. We will have either an engineer or a doctor who are directly observing and running this project to give us updates on it. We started a campaign, a fundraising campaign in the last week. Alhamdulillah, within less than a week, we almost have $100,000 of donations, but we need more because the total cost of the project is expected to be about 750,000. Maisa, if you please, if you add, if I missed anything, if you can add any more info about the project.
Yeah, I shared the donation link in the chat and Krista shared it as well. Thank you so much. Yeah, just to reiterate, it's 140 inpatient beds, 2 operating theaters and recovery, as well as the important infrastructure, which is plumbing, right? Like these are the things that have been destroyed through the continuous bombardment. And I think Nidali already shared that there's 3 stages of this. The first stage has been already completed, which is removing the debris. And now we're gonna hopefully start the second phase. And then the third phase is where we're gonna have the complete 140 beds reestablished. The other thing that we learned from our colleagues in Gaza that they actually are continuously fixing the hospital beds that have been destroyed. So their capabilities have been extremely impressive. So as bombardment continues, they try to fix as much as they can. And we didn't really know what to expect, but they were able to get 5 bids on the project. So it was done very professionally, very transparently. And we have obviously all that information through them. And as Nidal mentioned, there will be regular updates on our weekly webinars.
Maisa, could you share a link for people to join tomorrow? I assume you have the 12 noon on Sunday.
That's right. Yeah, I'm going to send that as well.
Referring our audience to that program this particular Sunday because we are not doing a programming on Sunday, so we invite people to join your programming. If you would
Thank you.
a registration link for them. Thank you.
I will share that now.
Could you tell people what do you cover during that program tomorrow at noon?
Yes, so the program will have 2 different components. The first one, we're still in the Disability Pride Month, so we're gonna have some conversations around disability. And the current issue right now in Gaza, as everybody knows, is starvation. So we are getting horrifying reports from our colleagues from Al Nasser Hospital. People are literally asking them if drinking water and salt is going to sustain their life. And so we are inviting a panel of experts to talk about starvation, refeeding, ways that people in Gaza can navigate this horror. So obviously, one of the ways that we're dealing with it is providing expert advice and expert medical, advice. But the most important thing is to mobilize everyone to put pressure on our governments to end the siege, to let the aid in, to remove the conditions in which lead to starvation of our people. So to that effect, and I will share the links as well, we've put together fact sheets, we put together recommendations for the governments in Canada and the US of things they can do and tools for people to use for advocacy. So we need everyone to be mobilized. We need everyone to use their voice and put pressure on our government to really end the siege. We've been successful in having some of the reps in the US actually put public statements on social media, and we continue to put pressure that way. So we want more people to join advocacy efforts. We want more people to join in putting pressure on the governments. But the focus tomorrow will be on both the disability aspect and the impact of genocide on people with disability in Gaza and the West Bank, but also on the immediate critical issue of starvation and the forced famine. So I'm going to share the links to both joining the webinar tomorrow, but also our fact sheets and advocacy toolkits for people to join the efforts. Nidal, I don't know if you want to share some more on that.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing about our webinars is it is focused about connecting with our colleagues in Gaza and hearing directly from them on the subject of the day. Many times we don't have the actual or final topic until the day of. We were trying to have more focused discussion about the disability month and stuff like that, but because of the issue of starvation that is looming now in a very massive way, we had to add this in the last minute. We're gonna have experts from the US and other places to try to talk to our colleagues there about ways that they can help work together to work with whatever means these hospitals and the people in Gaza have. But we should all be reminded that all the food, all the aid, all the medications are there at the border. It's only 2-3 miles away from the people of Gaza. So neither us nor the people in Gaza have to deal with this. Finding ways how you can stay alive because there's no food while there are hundreds of thousands of food, tons of food there on the border, 2-3 miles away from Gaza, that will only need a decision from President Trump, from any leader in Europe or in the world to force this in. And also the complicit Arab regimes who are silent on the mass starvation of a whole population. They are all complicit. This is man-made. It's not a natural disaster. The food is there. It's being paid for. We don't need their money. We just need to allow this aid to go into the people who need it most. Regarding the project of the hospital, our colleagues in Gaza are doing all the work, or the planning, or the construction. All what we're doing is giving them the funds that they need, but the project is theirs to do whatever they want with it, which is a new way of delivering aid to peoples and communities in conflict, instead of those white saviors going in there and offering their fancy stuff and keeping the population dependent on their aid. We don't want that. We want to empower the people in Gaza to be able to provide for themselves and to rebuild for themselves and to build institutions that are their own, completely their own, not ours. We have nothing to do with it other than we are helping, giving them the funds to do it the way they know how to do best. Thank you.
Dr. Jabour, thank you so much. We have a couple more, 2-3 people we're gonna be hearing from. So, John, could you unmute yourself and tell us where you talking to us from and what you have in mind?
Hi, I'm talking from the Boston area in Massachusetts. And I just should disclose I'm a reporter, radio reporter in Boston. And thank you for your work. And I just have a question about the project to rebuild Al Shifa Hospital. Uh, I don't know. I wondered how long it might be expected to take until the hospital may be able to serve patients, because it seems likely the Israelis will bomb and destroy the hospital again after it is rebuilt. And I wondered if there's any timing expected because of that. And wondering how the doctors and those who are building and fundraising are thinking about that. Um, I'm not being ironic when I say that someone should also fund and build something like a medical caduceus dome instead of Israel's Iron Dome that would be a missile defense system to protect Gaza's hospitals. I'm not being ironic when I say that. I mean, it's that important, and it's a brutal thing to consider. And but I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking about this, and I wondered how you're talking to your potential funders and planners about this.
Can I answer, Faisal?
I'm sorry, I was addressing some issue.
Can I answer him?
Yes, please, briefly.
Yes. So this is how we survive. The Palestinian people have been surviving genocide for 100 years. They destroy, we rebuild. This is our answer. Even if they bomb it, we will rebuild it again. We're not going to give up. Our people, our doctors, our children need this field hospital, and we are going to build it. And if Israel destroyed it, we will build it again. We will keep rebuilding it. We don't need Iron Dome. Palestinians do not need Iron Dome. They do not need a medical dome, because we have the truth. This is our land. We are the natives to that land. The only people, the only country in the world that need domes are the ones who are guilty, who are built on a sin, built on a crime. That's why they're scared and they need domes. We don't need domes. Our truth is stronger than them and their domes, and we will persist. We will rebuild Gaza no matter what. Regarding the how to get the equipment, our people in Gaza are going to be able to do whatever they can to do it from whatever resources they have in Gaza. Let's say there's a ceasefire next week or the week after, and they allowed material in. That's all great news, because we can allow this hospital to be built even in a faster rate, because we can get material from outside. We can do it in less time frame. Our colleagues from Gaza who know what is happening, giving us about 2 to 3 months for this project to be completed. In about 2 to 3 months will be functional. That's assuming there is no ceasefire, and assuming that they are gonna do whatever they can to manage from the resources they have in Gaza. But hopefully, inshallah, there will be a ceasefire soon. Hopefully, the world will wake up to this crime and stop being complicit in it. Hopefully, the American people will wake up to the crime being committed in their name, the mass slaughter of children, the mass slaughter of doctors, and destroying hospitals. We need their voices. We need to speak up. We need them to talk to their representative. We need to talk to the president, who came with the promise of peace and ending wars, to live up to his promise. We want all people of good conscience all over the world to speak up, to do more, because the fact that this is going on for 2 years, this means we did not do enough. We have to do more. The people in Gaza are sacrificing everything. They're doing everything they can to survive, to rebuild, and it's up to us, the ones who are enjoying this privilege of being in offices and live streaming. I mean, you saw the student from Gaza who could not even, have the video on because how bad the connection is. It's up to us to do more, because we do have the privilege, we do have the voice, we do have the leverage to use against our politicians.
Thank you.
I may add just to that, to Nidal's point about the reason why this continues is because not enough of us are actually using our voices to put an end to it. Impunity happens because we let it happen. So this is like a call to action to anyone on the call. Yes, we are a medical advocacy organization, but we often involve anybody who cares about healthcare to join us. If anybody is able to join our advocacy efforts, whether it's on the Hill, in the districts, in Canada, in the world, wherever you are, please join Doctors Against Genocide using the link I just pasted there. So thank you, everyone.
Is it okay to ask a brief follow-up?
Sure.
I'm just wondering, the channels that might exist, perhaps similar to the way some foreign doctors are able to get in to work at hospitals briefly sometimes. Are there channels through which medical equipment and supplies can be brought into Gaza currently, or is that still being worked on?
Everything is done through, unfortunately, through coordinating with something called COGAT, which is, an instrument of occupation. So all of the humanitarian laws are broken because, in situations like this, there should be open access. Unfortunately, the decisions to allow things in or not is arbitrary and decided by this entity called COGAT. So our job is to to criminalize this entity and to really reinforce international law, international humanitarian law. Nidal, I'm sure you have more to say on that, but it's really something we've been struggling with so much. Food is sitting, miles and miles of food trucks are sitting, equipment, the whole GHF, and the way that even aid is being weaponized. They're asking people to walk miles while they're starving and getting sniped on as they're trying to get food. So all rules of humanitarian law have been broken, and currently everything has to be done through coordination with this COGAT entity, which is absolutely criminal. Thank you.
Yeah, so to answer your question briefly, in the last 3 months since Israel broke the ceasefire, nothing has been allowed in. No medical equipment, no food, no water, nothing. So we're trying to work, assuming that nothing will be allowed in, to work with whatever our people in Gaza can, get from there. Nothing is going on.
Thank you.
I wonder if you could just comment, there's a question in our, in the question and A, in the Q&A about whether you have a need for engineers to help support this effort. I know that your call to action is specifically addressed toward the medical professionals and others who can support through donations, but do you have a need for engineers or people who can help support this effort when there's like a blackout on the internet in Gaza and things like that, who can just provide logistical support on the from outside?
Yes, I mean, we are a medical organization, we're a medical focused organization, but our mission is to combat genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and to help the survivors in any way we can. And that does not just include the medical angle. We do have engineers, we do have software colleagues who are working with us. We are open to everyone. The mission is, as long as you believe in the mission, as long as you have something to contribute, you are welcome to join us. Just email us at info@doctorsagainstgenocide.org, and there is a place for everyone. None of us alone can do it. We need all the people of good conscience in the world to stand up against the people of bad conscience who are profiting from crimes, from war crimes, from genocide, who are exploiting all of us. And the people of good conscience can be American, can be white, can be Jew, can be Christian, can be Muslim, and the people who are profiting from these crimes also can be all of those. So we need the people of good conscience, whatever their specialty, whatever their skill, to contribute. Every one of us has a skill. Every one of us can add something. It can be your voice, it can be your profession, it can be your money, it can be your idea. If you have ideas, you are welcome. The engineers in Gaza are good at doing this, and we trust them. But if anyone can provide help from outside or have better ideas or wants to connect to them to add to how they can cope better with this, they are welcome to join, and we are happy to connect them.
One thing I wanted to add very briefly is, and John, like maybe something that media can give more attention is the weaponization of aid through the GHF, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. I mentioned briefly that people are asked to walk miles and miles while they're starving to receive aid, and a lot of them are actually, the number of people getting killed by GHF so far in the past just few weeks have exceeded 1,300 people. And these are hungry people, civilians that are just trying to get food for their families and for their children. And it's been funded by US tax dollars. It's been supported by the current administration, and it's something that we should all condemn. There are channels to provide aid that have been tested and tried and comply with humanitarian law, and these have been completely wiped out by the occupation and replaced by something that is, the only way to describe it is that it's a death trap. It's a criminal way to give the impression that aid is being distributed, but there is no aid actually reaching people. And this is why people are asking us if they can drink salt and water, because they don't have access to food. So the famine is here, and the starvation it has reached a critical state, and we cannot allow this to continue.
Thank you. John, I have a question for you. Are you allowed to report on Gaza and things like this, or any of it?
Yeah, I've produced a radio program in Boston on WZBC 90.3 FM for about 26 years, and started in the first year in 1998 reporting about Palestine in general. But so I've spent at least a major portion, and sometimes the entire radio program I produce weekly, focused on Gaza since after October 7th. I've gotten complaints about Palestine reporting from the usual suspects, including Camera, over the years, like everyone does. And but the outlet I'm at has not, in my experience, pressured me to change coverage. And so I'm just continuing to do what I think is the right thing to do.
John,
Great.
I just shared a link to a recent press release on the starvation. So I can
Thank
send
you.
that to you as well. If you can help us spread the word, would be great.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're available anytime you want any input or feedback.
Thank you.
We have just a couple more people. We need to go through it quickly because we have to wrap up in the next few minutes. Lynn, are you with us? Unmute.
My only thought was that this really can't be, that everything is different now. I know that Nadal is saying that we don't need the protection other than the international community, but everything's different now because we have a hardened criminal running the free world, and he needs to go. There's too much been done already that has destabilized humanity entirely because of this person. And I think all of the energy needs to be directed at eliminating him.
Thank
That's
you.
just my thought.
Evelyn, unmute.
Hi, Nidal and Mesa. My name is Evelyn Ophir. I'm Israeli Jewish American. I have to share some difficult stuff that I hear all the time. But I know you know this, and I want to know how I can combat it personally. It's not only denial, it's justification that I hear. It's demonization of Palestinians. And people don't want to believe, in the Jewish community here in America, to some degree in the Christian community and Israeli community. When I told a woman, a friend in West Jerusalem, about being involved with a campaign for a hunger strike in Gaza, she said, and I don't want to hurt you, but this is what I hear. I do. There's no starvation in Gaza. And this woman is a psychologist. I call her a humanist. Very cultured. So I'm speechless what to say.
And I think I'm really in a position to combat what I hear. Another person he started screaming at me yesterday. Not that I'm an anti-Semite or anything, but what's happening? That saying the worst things about all Palestinians. So I don't know how to be constructive in combating the prejudice and the lies.
I think we're dealing with a crop of people who have lost their humanity a long time ago, and they were brought up on the loss of humanity from the beginning. They were taught racism from day one, from when they were like 2 years old. I don't know if you've ever heard Miko Pelade's sister speak.
Yeah.
She's an expert on Norit. Her name is Norit, right?
Yeah. Nurit El-Hanan, yeah. Peled El-Hanan, yeah.
And she is an expert on the education system in Israel, and it's a system that's from day one indoctrinates people to become killers in the future and to hate Palestinians and to look down at Palestinians. There's no other place in the world that they have an educational system like that. Nothing comes close to it. What we have is a cancer in Israel. And I don't know, how you would deal with that. How do you eradicate the cancer that exists there?
I just wanted to share with the two of you doctors
Can I answer?
what I hear.
Yes.
I know it hurts that we're supposed to be human beings and we're supposed to love thy neighbor as thyself and not to kill. It says it the sixth commandment of the 10 commandments.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm in horrific pain. And I think I can just continue to find a few people that I just don't want to keep talking about. I do want to tell one success story. A rabbinical intern from my synagogue, before I left for my trip to Israel and Palestine, I was in Bethlehem about 2 months ago. Area C, by the way. Let me think, what was I going to say? Anyway, and I told him before my trip that I didn't appreciate what he was saying. And he talked and he talked. And I said, he said, after speaking, he said, I feel this closing of my heart after October 7th. So after we talked and I came back from my trip, he told me that he posted opposition to the starvation. And that was gutsy of him, a rabbinical intern going to serve as a rabbi in Haifa, Israel. And so people are movable from my experience, but it's unfortunately too slow.
Can I answer? I mean, thank you, Evelyn and Lynn, for sharing this. And thank you, John. A major part of what's happening is the media, the mainstream media, that not just ignored the genocide, but it justified it. It enabled it. It streamed the Israeli army, genocidal army narrative all over the world, and it became the source of all the information. So the mainstream media, whether it's US and Europe, is a major player in this genocide. They intentionally manufacture consent for it. And thank you, Len. Yes, we do have main criminals in Israeli leadership or in the West, but it's not just one person, because the latest poll from Israel shows that 82% of Israelis agree with this. Other poll says 90%. My expectation it's even more than that of Israelis agree with the expulsion, forced expulsion of the Palestinians. 50% agree or they want forced expulsion of Israeli Palestinians who have Israeli citizenship. More than half of them, they want all the Arabs dead and gone. So it's not just a one person, it is a genocidal ideology. The whole Zionist project is a genocidal project from the beginning, from 100 years ago, when they said a land without people, for a people without land. That was the first genocidal crime. They erased us just with one mantra. They erased our existence,
Mhm.
and they manufactured the consent, the white supremacy, uh, married with the Jewish supremacy against people who are brown color or Muslim or Palestinians, and they don't see our lives as valuable. For you, Evelyn, if you live in Israel or not, the best thing you can do is renounce your Israeli citizenship. Being an Israeli is genocidal by itself, is part of
Mm,
the project. If you really
mm,
want to help us, publicly renounce your Israeli citizenship,
mm,
because the whole existence of the Israeli state is built on genocide, on a crime,
mm,
on the same year that the world admitted, or on the same year that the world signed on the Genocide Convention, 1948. Israel was established a few months after the whole world said there is a genocide. Genocide is not legal. You cannot commit genocides anymore. Israel committed that genocide of 1948 and expelled 800,000 Palestinians, took their land. And of course, the West and Israel, because of what happened in the Holocaust, they gave them a green light. They did not call it a genocide. And we maybe did not know better at that time to call it what it was. It was a genocide then. It's been happening since then. It's been enabled. The Zionists and Jewish supremacy, white supremacy are genocidal ideologies. And the world will never see a day of peace unless these ideologies are beaten. And thank God, the young population all over the world is waking up to this. Even white Christian Zionist evangelicals are waking up to this, and they're not buying this crap anymore. This is anti-human. Zionism is anti-human, whether it's Christian or Israeli or Jewish. It's anti-humanity. It's putting our whole world at risk. It's putting our whole world at constant wars, brink of nuclear wars anytime, just for the benefit of the few. And it's all of us united, people of conscience, we have to beat these ideologies. And no genocidal regime in history, no genocide in history has ever stopped by appealing to the morals of the genocidal nation. It has always to be stopped by force, by sanctions, by the whole world going after them. This happened in the Holocaust. Nazis did not just wake up, oh, sorry, we were wrong, we were doing wrong. No, they were forced to stop. That same happened in Cambodia. The same happened in Rwanda. The same happened everywhere. Genocide has always to be stopped by force, by sanctions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One comment, which is anybody that supports Israel needs to understand what are they supporting. And they are supporting genocide, they are supporting racism, they're supporting people who wants to kill every child in Gaza, they're supporting people who killed over 100,000 people in Gaza. That supporting Israel equals supporting that. And they are, anybody that is doing that, that's supporting Israel, is complicit in the crimes of Israel because they are providing material support to Israel. Even moral support is considered material support and political support.
Is there some way that I can get a link to that movie? Because somebody mentioned in the chat that a picture is worth 1,000 words.
The movie we showed today?
Yeah, I think that would be.
Zeteo has it for pay per view. You can just
Who does?
Zeteo. What's his name? Hassan
Mehdi Hassan.
Mahdi,
Mehdi.
new media company.
Oh,
Spell Zeteo, guys.
It's Zeteo, I believe.
Yeah, it's easy. So go to Zeteo, spend a few dollars, and then you can watch it anytime.
okay. All right.
It's
Zeteo.
I'll put a link in the chat.
I
Zeteo.
think that's a possibility.
Yeah, everybody can watch Zeteo for a few dollars. So it's
Mm, mhm,
And
mhm.
Nadal, I'm an ultrasound tech, so I'm in the profession.
Join us, please. Join us. Join Doctors Against Genocide. Sign up and join our webinars. And every one of us adds value, and it's good to have all of us together.
somebody has their thing on some. What happened to my sat? Where is my sat?
I'm right here
Okay.
watching the chat. It's a very active group.
Yeah. the chat,
Good to see a lot of engagement.
yeah, and
Besides Zoran, Donnie, there's also what's her name? Hassama
Sama Savant in Seattle, Washington.
Sawant. Yeah, and she's running for the 9th. I don't know if that's the national or the state congressional district or something. Yeah, these people exist and they need to be, you know, made normalized as what needs to be normalized. And I agree, you know, it's not just Trump. It's like just getting rid of him is still, the problem is still there. Just
Yeah.
as much with Obama and with Biden and
Biden started the genocide.
yeah.
Trump is just keeping the legacy.
Yeah.
Although he said, Biden's too weak, I'm not gonna commit, I'm much better than him, I can stop this immediately. But it seems he's as weak as Biden when it comes to Israel and Zionism, and they will all knee down whenever Israel pushes the pressure and their influence in this country.
I think it's calling for a major world revolution. It really is.
Yeah.
well, the
The
world
world needs to change. I mean, otherwise we're going to continue to have other genocides. But
Yeah.
as long as there's supremacy thinking and ideology, we're always going to end up in the same boat. And people need to stop thinking they have no agency. Everybody has agency, and we need to start moving to build a different world for all of us.
I think Gaza people sacrificed a lot, but what Gaza did, it exposed all what is wrong with this world, all these broken systems, all
Yeah,
the
it's the fundamental issue.
white supremacy is exposed. And this is a call for all human beings, wherever they are. This is not going to end at Gaza. This is coming home. It's coming here to the US, to LA, to the ICE raids on
Well,
the
in Boulder, this guy did a fire
exactly
attack right on
to
our
Texas, to
I was
Europe.
15 feet from him.
The fascism is going. That's how usually fascism commits colonialism and genocides overseas and imports the oppression and the fascism home. So this is a wake-up call for all Americans, all Europeans, all Western people, all people of good conscience in global South, global North, everywhere. We are all under attack, and it's not gonna stop at the Palestinians. As they said during the Holocaust, they started with the socialists, the unionists, the Jews, and I was not a Jew, I did not speak, but they kept going. And they came to me, and when they came to me, there was no one else to stand for me.
I
So
just
we
wanna-
cannot stop. We have all to speak up. It's our humanity. We are not against anyone. We are against injustice, and we are for a better world for all of us and better future. This is not a world or a future that we want to inherit to our children, because that will be the worst thing we had ever done in our lifetime, to inherit such a broken, unjust, violent, war machine dependent world to our kids. We need, it's an emergency. It's a world global emergency. Gaza is giving us the lesson that we need to wake up and fix it. Otherwise, we are going to all be next. And by that time, there will be no one to stand up for us. Thank you.
thank
We
you,
are
everybody.
As we're
all
speaking
Palestinians.
today, we have just received an update. Like, I mean, these are the updates that we're getting almost on the hour. An update from Al Nasser Hospital. It's a very graphic update. I'm happy to share the pictures, but these are children that were just murdered. And it's very important to understand like the impact of complicity and the impact of impunity and why we all need to mobilize. Faisal, is it okay if I share a couple of pictures?
Go ahead. This is not meta.
Yes. So they just arrived at Al Nasser Hospital. These are pictures of children severely malnourished. And these are starving doctors trying to help these children with little to nothing, literally.
Remember, this is all being done with our tax dollars and with our silence and complicity. And I think we are better than this. We can do better than allow our politicians to continue these crimes. These children did not deserve to
A shot in his hand,
die
like
or to be murdered.
literally. And, the horrors continue as we watch.
Thank you,
But let's
myself.
not make watching a habit. Let's make taking action a habit, please, and do something about it, because it's easy to get into this cycle of consuming information and feeling frustrated about it. But I just want to remind everyone that we all have agency and we can actually do something. So just remember that, please. And, join Doctors Against Genocide, find a platform that can help you advocate and use your voice. But just the last thing we want is to watch all this and remain silent, please.
If I may say
Thank you.
briefly, and Dr. Jabour, you mentioned correctly about the Western media's largely general complicity in refusing to acknowledge genocide. I think it's so important well, we're all complicit and to consider our roles, but one thing that we all can do is one thing that's happened in the United States, partly as a result of the media complicity, is all of us, citizens, non-citizens, feeling afraid or unsafe to discuss ethnic cleansing, genocide, war crimes, and everything related. And it's been made, people have consciously, intentionally been made to feel afraid that they'll lose their university jobs, or they'll lose their scholarships, or they won't be hired out of college if they speak out. And the more we can all do to help the people we meet feel safe discussing this and feel safety in a larger community that understands the truth, it's like a form of mutual aid almost, to be able to think outside the box and encourage people to feel safe talking about the truth. And that partly means those of us who know the truth, and I need to do this sometimes myself, need to refrain from speaking harshly to people who have not learned it yet. So we need to be as effective educators as we can by understanding the wide array of places from which people are coming, and especially Americans, with that media complicity that they've been subjected to that has grown those attitudes. It's not entirely their fault. They have been subjected to a systematic campaign for decades with massive spending and Hasbara propaganda. So that I think this is just something we can all try to do very importantly, to welcome. And I think both of you doctors mentioned that word, and it's very powerful to say you are welcome here. I heard that once from a member of the Palestinian army while I was walking late at night in Bethlehem after I was asked some questions by his guards, but you are welcome here. It's a very important message to give those who are coming to learn more. But thank you. Thank you for your work.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everyone. I think we're wrapping up
So
here.
we want to thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to share. And
Shukr ala wajib. No thank on
Thank you,
duty.
guys. My patients are waiting. They've been waiting patiently. I have to go. Thank you, everyone, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Your
Thank you.
patients are patient.
Have patience.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for
Have been
joining us
very
today at the
patient.
Palestine Museum.
Thank you.
Miss-
Thank you.
thank you. Free
Expose the
Palestine.
numbers,
Okay.
Well, for them,
500,000 versus 1,200. I mean, why doesn't anyone speak about the numbers? Sure, the Israelis are killed too. There's Israeli babies too.
Yeah.
But this is bigger, much bigger than that.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Ma'as salama. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
well,
Thanks.